You want to see something that really sucks? Here's a 20-minute video I just made. Let me play a little bit of it for you. Hey, look. Absolutely no audio. Isn't that fantastic? Yeah, it is. So here we go, all over again. I told you in many videos, and a lot of people didn't like hearing this, but Donald Trump won't make it to the White House. I'm fairly certain that the Biden administration telling the Ukraine to use our long-range missiles to hit Russia, even though that would allow Russia to use nuclear weapons. You know what I'm saying? And that would prevent Joe Biden, that would prevent Trump from making it into the White House, because not only has Ukraine used American-made missiles, but they've also used long-range missiles from Britain. Now, remember that, because that's going to play into something I'm going to talk about later. But real quick, this is the point. Let's jump into the Economist 2025 cover. Now, the reason I haven't made any videos in many days is because my truck broke down, and I spent Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday working on it right here. And it sucked, because it's the exact same problem every time. I put dual transfer cases in it, made by a company called 𝗦𝗵𝗿𝗄𝗯𝗲, and these things leak like you read about it. And getting them in and out of the truck by myself sucked. Right here, it slipped off, and I had to catch this. This weighs a lot, you know what I mean? I will literally be 57 in 1 week. Catching this thing as it fell off the lift sucked. But it is what it is. I did it, and it's done. So there's that. I think the move to bring us into World War III, according to the mainstream, that's all they keep saying, World War III, World War III. Well, when you look at the Economist 25 cover, it makes pretty good sense. One of my subscribers sent this to me days ago, because this cover is not supposed to be out till tomorrow, but it's already out, and here you go. First of all, let me draw your attention to this. There's an eye, there's an eye, there's a nose, there's a mouth. This is a face. Great, there you go. And on it, you see things going down, things going down, things going down, worldwide, worldwide. And then you see weird things like missiles, vaccines, what we would equate to nuclear weapons right here. Adams, Zelensky, Putin, the president of China, Donald Trump. I don't know who that lady is. It is what it is. And then uprising. And I also don't know who this woman is. But speaking of not knowing who a woman is, I didn't know who this person was at all. Look at this. Now my computer won't run. I'm trying to show you something and my computer won't run. Isn't that terrific, huh? What a weird coincidence. 20-minute video in the trash, and now my computer won't. No internet. And suddenly I still don't have internet. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So while doing research for the Economist cover, I came across this channel, and he's tying this woman. This woman's name is Grimes, and apparently she put out a tablet, a stone tablet, you know, like back in the old days. And she used to be with Elon Musk, and apparently they have a couple of kids together. That's what I'm told. But you're going to have to listen to this, because this is really crazy.
I hope it won't be very long anyway, and that is because I have to start work soon. Usually I have these videos done in the morning, and then I proceed into work. Make no mistake about it, I'm not complaining. I love content creation, and I love my job, so I just have to find the time. But with that being said, I want to go ahead and talk about the Grimes tablet. Now, if you don't know what the Grimes tablet is or who Grimes is an individual. She's a Canadian singer-songwriter who dated Elon Musk in 2018. I believe they even have a few kids together. Now, a few years after uploading a photo of this tablet to her Instagram page, Grimes would release a statement on her Twitter account by saying, "A few years ago, we released a prophecy on this ancient tablet to the left. Since most of the bad omens have come true, we've canceled the stone, and we are releasing a new prophecy to the right. Huge apologies for any inconvenience this may have caused." So what exactly is Grimes talking about? Well, you see, the photo of this tablet was uploaded to Grimes' Instagram page on September 5th, 2019. This was in correlation with one of her newer songs called Violence. This song was in partnership with an American DJ called I.O., but here's where things get rather interesting. Well, before we get into that, I.O. actually passed away on November 23rd, 2020. He passed away from a fatal arrhythmia due to thyroiditis. Taking a look at the middle of the tablet to the left, you can see what looks like to be music. Headphones, a microphone, and an instrument. This is basically Grimes plus I.O., which would be the song they are collaborating with together, Violence. But right after this, you can see what looks like to be a hospital bed, a DNA strand, and the sun, which is basically the corona. Plus, right after this, 3 jabs. Well, what happened 2 months after this photo was released? We had the C19, corona.
So this is something he's going to miss. Hospital bed, DNA, coronavirus, 3 jabs equals a UFO spaceship. I believe the 3 jabs, not only with the black graphene in it, but also with the Bluetooth compatibility, where people, I'm not going to put it up because this video will be way too long, but people from all over the world were showing that their phones were connecting to their shot and showing Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, etc. I believe the fake alien invasion that's coming very soon, they'll be able to control people and it'll appear like they're using some sort of crazy alien voodoo. You see what I mean? At any rate.
After this, we had the jabs. Then we see that the jabs equal UFO. Now, I always found this odd because I always thought that something was put in those jabs and was put into people's bodies. Now, I can't say too much here on YouTube, especially when it comes to the jabs, but it's kind of interesting. Right now, we have all this UFO and alien talk going on, not from the public, but from the government. But I don't think that's what that means, the whole UFO and alien talk that we're seeing today. I think the UFO on this tablet represents something foreign. That something foreign is inside the jabs and, well, it's being placed into people's bodies. That was actually a rather big theory back in the day, and it's still a big theory today. And when I say theory, I say quote-unquote theory because I can't say too much again on YouTube when it comes to the jabs. Such interesting symbolism. The jabs equal UFO. Now, again, it's not a figurative UFO, but again, it's them telling you that something is in those jabs. I really have to say, I'm really glad I stood my ground against that stuff because people were really pressuring people into getting it. Right under this, we can see all the conflicts taking place, but what's also rather interesting is that this tablet also shows the solar eclipse, the April 8th solar eclipse. And this kind of also reflects the 2024 Economist magazine cover because that magazine cover also shows the April 8th solar eclipse. On the tablet, you can see a bunch of exclamation marks after the solar eclipse. And this really stood out to me because I always felt, and I said this in multiple videos, I always felt like something big happened on April 8th during the solar eclipse, like it was some kind of ritual. We had NASA firing off 3 rockets under Project Serpent, and NASA named these 3 rockets 𝗦𝗵 or 𝗦𝗵𝗿, which is the exact same name as this asteroid that's supposed to either hit or miss Earth. And
the biggest thing about this eclipse, I mean, I was there at ground zero in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, right at the epicenter where it crossed. The biggest thing about this eclipse is there was no moon. But on that, I'll digress.
𝗦𝗵 is basically ancient Egypt's version of Satan. We had CERN starting the Large Hadron Collider, and they said they were looking for dark energy, dark matter, and at the exact same time, the individual they named after the God particle they were looking for in 2012, the Higgs boson particle, well, that individual passed away on that exact same day. Peter Higgs, yes, he was 94, but still, what are the odds on this tablet? Because what comes next are 2 snakes and a lotus flower. There are 2 snakes, and between these 2 snakes is again the lotus flower, and these 2 snakes represent the year of the snake, which is 2025, next year. Right under these snakes, you can see a person lying prone. Now, this could be the passing away of a very important individual, or it could mean multiple people will pass away. And I find this to be rather interesting because this kind of correlates with the Deagle report.
So that's one thing. But let's go to the next thing. There's a military website that was out for the longest time. It still is out. It's called Deagle.com. And Deagle.com is a legit site. But thanks to the mainstream media in the last few years, once we started showing light on this years ago, they were like, yeah, that's not a real site, etc. Well, the sad thing is it's definitely a real website. And they, for what I'm about to show you, they claim they got hacked in 2014, and that's how this whole thing happened. But take a peek at this real quick.
Eagle Corporation is a military contractor having close ties to U.S. military intelligence, which collects data for high-level decision makers, including agencies like the National Security Agency. In 2014, Deagle released a confidential report forecasting massive population declines out to the year 2025, especially in Western countries, including the U.S. Countries like the U.K. and Germany would likewise see similar drastic decreases in population. The study mysteriously disappeared from Deagle's website in March 2021. Was the report conjecture, speculation, or just someone wanting some kind of reaction? But at the very least, the obtained 2014 report from Deagle should be examined. If the Deagle calculations turn out to be even close to correct, the most unsafe places to reside over the next 3 years will be the U.S. and the U.K.
Now listen to what he just said. According to the Deagle report, the 3 countries that will be the most unsafe will be the UK, the United States, and Germany. Well, that's weird because America and the UK have just literally given missiles to Ukraine to shoot at Russia. Do you see what I'm saying? And the United States will now get touched. We will get hit. Whether or not it really is Russia, whether or not Ukraine really fired our missiles and British missiles at Russia, knowing that it would give Russia the ability to now use a nuclear option. That would make perfect sense. Do you see what I'm saying? But bear in mind, someplace around Missouri, Kentucky, where I am right now, and Arkansas are probably going to get hit by Russia with some sort of space-based weapon or something to that effect, because they're forcing this. They're making this happen. And Trump is completely in on it, man. Don't get it twisted. Joe Rogan, Russell Brand, and Alex Jones were all pushing him forward. Those are 3 of the biggest non-truth tellers I've ever met. Joe Rogan used to know the moon landing was fake. And then somebody pulled him aside and said, do you want to be broke and pathetic like Richie from Boston, or do you want to be the biggest podcast on earth? Change your tune. And he did. I used to listen to Rogan all the time until he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on, and they were like, chemtrails are not real whatsoever at all. Well, a lot of things are completely real, and not many people will speak about it, but this guy did.
We're in a bit of a carbon dioxide famine now. If you look over geological history, it's been much higher than now most of the time. Most plants do better with more carbon dioxide than they have now. So it's just a complete distortion of the truth to call it a pollutant. It's not a pollutant at all.
When did this start becoming a pollutant and not just the naturally occurring material that we all heard about growing up?
It got latched on by green politicians. Al Gore is a person who comes to mind, but there are many others. And so people saw a way to make a buck in demonizing CO2, and that's what's happened.
So your presentation goes into the science. What are some of the things that people should know that would help them realize that this myth of carbon pollution is in fact a myth?
Well, one obvious thing is that greenhouse operators, who grow, tomatoes, flowers, intentionally increase the CO2 concentration in the greenhouse by factors 2, 3, 4. And you have to pay to do that. You have to pay for the CO2. But it's still worth doing it because the plants grow so much better with more CO2.
You see what I'm saying? The whole story, the whole Agenda 2030, all of it is a lie. They're forcing this war. But let's get back to that Economist cover.
Right below this, we can see what looks like to be a nuclear fallout, and then an exclamation mark, and then it says the end. This is such interesting timing because of everything that's currently going on, with Ukraine being able to use those long-range United States missiles, actually now firing on Russia, and Russia now declaring that they can now use nukes. So this tablet is very, very interesting to say the least, but there are some icons that actually correlate with the 2025 Economist magazine cover. So the nuclear and atom icon you can see at the end of Grimes' tablet here, you can also see on the 2025 Economist magazine cover. You can see one of the icons on the eye here, and you can also see the other icon, the atom icon, right next to Putin. So like I said, as more people start to notice the Grimes tablet and certain things coming true, she went ahead and changed the icons on the tablet. Now, most of the icons are still there. You can still see the year of the snake. You can see this man lying prone, But she went ahead and changed the icons for the nuclear fallout because I guess that was too much information given to the public at one time. Now, here's what's rather interesting, and it's more of a side note, and it can be seen as kind of a stretch, but during the time that Grimes had uploaded this photo, the photo of the tablet, the very first time to Instagram, she was dating Elon Musk. Now, the Grimes tablet is also known as the Grimes prophecy. And after Trump had won the 2024 presidential election, Elon Musk posted this to Twitter. He posted that the prophecy has been fulfilled. Now, this might not mean much, but given the fact of how much has come out after this tablet was posted to Instagram, it's still a rather interesting connection, to say the least. Blowing up the new tablet to the right, I might be wrong about something here. The icon after the year of the snake no longer looks like a man lying prone, but it looks more like a UFO. But directly after this icon, again, here's where the icons really change, because we can see a rocket and we see Saturn. And then there's some icons below this, one that looks like a UFO orb, and then it looks like a robot, and then we see a heart, and then we see another face, which could...
So he's got a lot of interesting points in this, but he's not catching this one. This is transhumanism. This is taking a robot, giving it a heart, and turning it into whatever would result from that. You see what I'm saying? That's pretty straightforward as far as I'm concerned. So remember, I told you this was a face, but they're telling you. Eye, nose, mouth. It's a face. So up here would be the crown. And what is the crown jewel? It's Saturn, Satan. Now, what's weird about Saturn in 2025? I'm glad you asked. Let me show you. According to the mainstream, NASA, Smithsonian Magazine, etc., in 2025, Saturn will turn to such a weird angle that we won't be able to see the rings. The rings will disappear. Now, I already know, and you already know, that Saturn is an luminary, okay? It's not a planet, but it does look like it has rings around it. And in my opinion, the rings coming off Saturn in 2025 would be Satan being completely unchained, loosed on the public. You see what I mean? If that makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just started looking at this today. Elon Musk just posted this very, very strange thing, and this tells a lot.
Side table picture. Did you see Elon Musk's bedside table picture that he put on Twitter? He had the Vajra in the lower left corner of the picture. There's all this speculation that there has been a limitless energy device that has come from the ancients that has been essentially redeveloped.
Whoa, what are these?
The Vajra. Or you might say an ancient Hindu thunderstorm generator.
Basically, it's a geometry to create a self-sustaining electromagnetic field.
Elon Musk posting this picture while he's also talking about that he believes that his life could be at jeopardy. He's taking security precautions. This is a staged photo. Is he essentially sending a shot off the bow to the people who he thinks are going after him, which is that I have knowledge of something?
Some of the oldest writings, 5,000 years old, probably.
5,000 years old.
Yeah.
Here you have in the hand the normal symbolism, because actually the Vajra is a device for generating plasmoids.
I'm convinced that Elon Musk...
So yeah, you take this with his post, Novus Order Seclorum, New Order of the Ages, and then you see him showing off what looks like a keychain, and it's actually an ancient Hindu device used by lowercase g gods. This is crazy. And what does it do? It controls the weather. Well, back in 2021, back in 2022, and back in 2017, I told you that when they went for this, when they actually, like, the New World Order is coming, and it is, they were going to throw everything at us at the same exact time, and they were going to use weather as a weapon. And to prove that point, Asheville, Texas, Katrina, but I'm talking stuff recently. I shouldn't even have said Katrina. But this just happened in the Pacific Northwest, and this is unheard of.
Hey, my friends, welcome back. We got a situation brewing in the northwest of the United States and Canada. This is a huge system that is crawling up the northwest coast that will involve an atmospheric river for northern and central California for the next few days, as well some major wind, snow, and rain situations for the entire northwest.
So I'm not going to play the entire video. I'll leave links below. But this storm generated unlike any other storm we've ever seen before, and it's spawning another one right behind it. So after it's done doing its damage, there's one right on its tail end. They're going to use everything. In World War III, with everybody fighting Russia and China and North Korea, that's when the aliens will show up. But hopefully I won't be here anymore for that, but it is what it is. There is so much going on right now. Have no fear. Understand it's coming, and don't try to force it on other people, because if they don't see the chemtrails, they're not going to listen to everything I just said whatsoever at all. Get yourself prepared, mind, body, and spirit. I spend a lot of time completely alone, and when you're alone, you think, you can't help it. And I always think about how many people ridicule me, laugh at me, fear porn, this, that, and the other thing. I've spent the last 15 years of my life knowingly and intentionally destroying my ability to make. I could have made millions on YouTube. I had 900,000 plus subscribers when they took me out that week, one channel after another, because I wouldn't play ball. I wouldn't sponsor anything during the COVID pandemic, and I would not use code words. And I still won't. I think about Jesus saying, they hated me, so they'll hate you. He came down here and did nothing but good and told everybody the absolute truth, and they crucified him for it. So me having technical difficulties and trackers on my truck and all sorts of other things, my family thinking I'm an idiot, even though everything I've ever said I've backed up with links. Maybe the timetable wasn't perfectly right, but if people stood up back when transgenderism was getting pushed on everybody, we never would have made it this far. You see what I'm saying? So, and here's one other thing. America getting attacked, they'll do it strategically so it cuts everything off. So we're in a bad place. Plus America's under attack. We're going to have to deal with these liberals because they're going to, I can't even say. But I know Trump's not going to get in office. I know Russia will be blamed for some massive attack on the United States, probably from space, they'll say. But these are the people that literally are the left, I guess, because Trump won with 66.9%. This is the other half. This lady right here is gay. She works at a place that's very similar to SpaceX, where they build rockets to fool people. And she's also married to a transgender woman. So she's married to a dude that transitioned to be a woman so that he could be a lesbian instead of just, you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. At any rate, this woman is successful. Her partner is successful. He's an author. He wrote a book about being gay in America, etc. This woman was not only working at the space company, but she was also taking care of her invalid father. And when Trump won, she stabbed her elderly father to death because of that, because he was a Trump supporter. And when the cops showed up at her house, she was still, not only did she just kill her father, but now she was going around her entire house smashing out the windows, because that's what normal people do. Those are the people we're going to have to deal with. Crazy, psychotic, mental patients. And that's where we're at. At any rate, Richie from Boston, if I missed anything, I'll try to make up for it, but this is my 4th time and 2.5 hours later making this one video. I'm out.